Welcome.
Hey, girl.
You wanna share?
Yes. Well, this practice that Lauren and I are going to do today is called swamping. Lauren actually introduced me to it. I've heard a few other people talk about it in some random podcast that I was listening to. And so we want to practice it today. And Lauren is going to tell us what it is and why we need to do it, or why would we want to do it, you know?
Yeah, my friend like gets passed down. My friend Namja is the one that introduced me, but it actually comes from a woman named Mama Gina. So you can look her up online if you're interested. But it's I made a few notes of like why we would do this and a few educational tools that makes me kind of be like, oh my God. Like when I hear about it, it starts making it make more sense.
Mm-hmm.
So this practice is about bringing up emotion that is suppressed. Sometimes emotions are stirring. So like this morning I got back and I knew I had to meet you and the dogs had gotten in the trash. And so it made me, so I just let myself be like, but some people on a path can be like, become peace ninnies. Like, oh, I shouldn't feel I should be peaceful, or sometimes we've taught in life, me and you have talked about this before, Casey, like we've been taught in life to be nice, or like that we should always be sweet. And that's not just us. Like Mama Gina talks about that too, of like, it's all of humanity's been taught to put a lid on it, like put it in men too, like people in souls in form of men. I say that because there's a lot of genders out there, but souls that are in the male body, it's like they're taught not to cry, so it's not just women, but we can speak from our experience as being women. So in swamping, sometimes the emotion's just naturally present. Sometimes we're coming into practice and we're like, I'm not really feeling a lot. So we can evoke emotion of like, do I want to tap into anger? I could think of a situation that made me angry. And a lot of times when the situation that pops in mind is when we didn't fully feel what we were feeling in that situation. So it's coming up for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So what else did I want to say? An example of evoking emotion, if anybody's ever practiced laughing yoga, like sometimes that practice makes me feel like I want to be pissed off before it even starts. Like I don't feel like laughing. And if somebody starts laughing and I'm like, I'll just start and then I just start laughing because I'm laughing at myself. So we just can evoke it too. It feels silly, but we can do it, and you will have a tangible experience. Let's see. Someone may feel frozen. Sometimes we can feel frozen and stuck. And if that comes up, just know that's very normal. And it's like, what does frozen feel like? And then you just exaggerate that motion. Like frozen feels like, and then you might be like, oh, I want out of that. So then you start doing this, it's like the frozen can be our teacher of like what wants to happen next. So this is a place to access rage. And like, why would we want to do that? Well, an example, when I used to not feel my anger, people would scare me that were angry because it wasn't a neutral thing to me. And through fully feeling our rage or suppression, we access, you've talked about this, Casey, before, power, like true power. But it gets when there's a charge to it, to anger and stuff like that, like we have to fully feel it. So then the power that comes is inspired and from like intelligence, and so like just like that. So we got to feel the charge of what the emotion is, and then the direction for like change or whatever it is can come through us. Do you have anything you want to add so far?
Yeah, I feel like with the emotion, that what helps me is to like personify it as like when I'm thinking about it, to say, okay, especially any emotion that you repress and you don't allow, or you were taught was bad, or like you said, somebody else experiences any gamut of emotion and it makes you mad or it scares you, or your response to other people's emotions, is to this practice can help you to be safe with that emotion. So like when it's not safe with you, you know what I mean? So it gives it this safe space. So it's like it's a person. You're letting rage have a safe space to be expressed, and you're not going to like go off on your significant other or your kids because you haven't felt it, and then you just take it out on the person driving down the street. You can, if you can fully feel it in your body and give it a space right now, that would be another reason why this would be a good practice. So you can have more awareness and not just projecting all over everybody.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like feeling it as neutral. It's okay to feel it. Like with the dogs, because I've practiced this for a while now, there's trash everywhere. I fully felt and they were sitting right there, but I wasn't fussing at the dogs. And I'm like, okay, now dogs, this is not what we do in this house. Like, we're not going to get in this, but it wasn't me like, to
Right.
the dog or
Kicking
something.
your
Like
dog.
yeah. Can you just went, okay, there you are. Now I see you again. Yeah. So, and then let's talk about ancestrally for souls incarnate as women. We've sometimes inherited a deep fear of expressing it. And it was the fear of being hung, the fear of being put in a mental institution, the fear of, it's these type fears, like she is crazy for feeling that, it's like, she should be sitting there sitting pretty, it's like that kind of thing. And Mama Gina, I wrote this down just to make sure I remember to say it. Mama Gina shares that this way, when emotions get stuck inside of us and we put a lid on them, the result is depression and numbness instead of just aliveness. And so there's an intelligence that's always present through all these emotions. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what you were speaking to. And let's see if there's anything else.
Say something real quick that you said that Yes. Will be helpful too. So another reason, like why to do this, why would you want to like evoke emotion? Like Lauren said, a lot, we could be walking around completely cut off. Like I'll speak from personal experience. I was basically cut off from my sacral and root chakras, which that's like a whole nother thing. But this part of my body, like my lower belly and down the genitals and everything, just, I wasn't connected. I didn't have a lot of awareness there. And so that kind of cuts us off from feeling alive, which also cuts us off from the really great emotions, like, feeling ecstasy and really happy and ecstatic. And so if you notice that your life just kind of drums on, and you may be disconnected from feeling like your rage or whatever's down here, which in turn cuts us off from also feeling the really good stuff,
Yeah, there's a woman that I've worked with that as she accessed this, she was saying that she realized she's never felt fully alive because from the time she was little, she was taught like, to be this way. And it's really, the generations that came before us were taught from the generations that came before them. So everybody's doing the best they can. But now that we know this, we can do better, Okay, the last thing that I wanted to say is, this was just helpful for me, is people that were born with vulvas, the clitoris has 8,000 nerve endings. So we're like, in the form of women, we're designed to feel a lot and to be really receptive. And so it's the inner feminine inside of us that can feel so much. So when we shut it off, we've actually shut off also the softness and the unconditional love and all. We've shut it off. And so as we feel all of these emotions, our inner divine masculine is what can hold it. It's the stability. It's the the groundedness. So we're actually becoming more imbalanced if we're looking at it through the inner feminine and inner masculine by like allowing the feminine in us to express everything. And also now we're becoming more in contact with the masculine in us that's like holding it, so then we're not looking outside of us to something else to hold it. We're doing it within ourselves. So it's more wholeness, holistic, we become into more wholeness within self. So just
Yes,
add that.
I love it. Yes, that's true. And that way we're just, like you said, a whole human being.
Yeah.
And feminine, I'm working on being more receptive. This is going to help me be more in my body and more receptive, because but for me, not feeling like I had enough support, not feeling like, just like I don't have enough support. I'm always up to me. If I can't do it, it won't get done. Da, da, da. And that was because I wasn't receptive, because I wasn't receptive to receiving help or support. And so we walk around kind of blind to what's available when we're not open in our bodies and actually letting the energy move. We can't see, we can't see where the support actually is.
Yeah. So this is I loved your video. We won't get into that you made about receiving the other day on your YouTube.
I'm excited about that. That's what I'm working on. That's my space I'm in right now.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'm just going to give the layout for somebody that's new to this practice, what we'll be doing, and then we'll move on to it. I'm going to say before we start, when we're feeling our rage, something that we can do is if you have people in your house and you don't want to actually scream and scare the house to get to death, you can go, because it's still using these muscles. I mean, you can just, and you can feel. So like, if you want to try that right now, it's like, and just feel what that feels like. So do you see how it feels kind of similar? Or you can scream into a pillow, unless you're in a space that everybody around you is okay with. Some people can't hold this yet if they haven't done this work themselves. Another thing, this comes from the Taoist tradition, to feel anger is to just, it's called the wood chopper. And you just bring your hands together and you just, like that. That's another way of accessing it. And also just letting I'm going to do this. I mean, just letting yourself express whatever words are coming, and it doesn't have to make any sense to your thinking brain. I notice when I do this practice, a lot of times the words "get off me" will come out of my mouth, and it's not logical, but it'll come out, and I can do that because I'm with you guys. And now we're on YouTube. This is going on your YouTube channel, so, but I'm just gonna say that, I might say "get off me" or "get out of my way" or whatever it is, and it's just letting what wants to come out freely. And in this practice, once you just let yourself flow with it. Once you feel that anger, then all of a sudden sadness might come. And then all of a sudden you might be laughing. It's just letting it pour through whatever is. So the way this is going to look, the first song, we're just going to breathe and move our body any way that we want to move. It could be just subtly. The second song, we're just going to be shaking. So standing up and just shaking. And then the next two songs after that is even the music might get on your nerves or activate anger. And just, if it does, letting that help us play out into the feeling emotion. So for two songs, it's 10 minutes. It's fully accessing the depths of bleh. And then after that is evoking grace and just coming back into the more gentle feelings, the more peaceful. And then we'll do just savoring, just resting in the silence. How does that sound?
That sounds good. If somebody's doing this that has never done an embodiment practice before, is there any instruction that we could give as far as where their attention should be or how they do that?
If something comes during the practice, if you feel to just say it. For me, I might, when we're in sometimes I do this when we're swamping, when we're actually in the feeling, I might say, just give a little tool that might be helpful or something. And same with you, just jump in if you might say just let it come out, or whatever's inspiration comes through. Does that sound good?
Yes. And do you want me to not mute? I don't know how it'll affect the sound quality, but
just mute just this time. So
the music clear. And then if I have something to say, I'll unmute real quick.
Yeah. Or maybe if you're about to express a lot, just unmute during that, because that might give somebody else permission to. Sometimes it's helpful. Sometimes if I hear somebody else raging, it gives me more, okay, I can do this too, especially if I'm newer to it.
Yes.
So, okay. I'm going to start the music So you want to get somewhere, people, where you have space. And if you feel stuck, just look on the screen. You can look to me and Casey and just like get some inspiration and just let yourself flow with it. Also, let's just take a pause for a moment and we can bring our hand to our heart and belly, just setting an intention for our practice. And feeling the breath. And feeling our feet in the ground beneath us, the stability, this earth that's holding us. I'm going to push play on the music and you just start to let your body move and breathe as you move. Really, you can even bring your hands to your belly, reminding yourself to fully be breathing into the belly throughout. Creating movement in the hips again. You can even notice what your mind is saying and just come back to your feet. Feel the ground beneath you as you just let movement happen naturally, not trying to control it. Breathing deep into the belly. gonna let out any sound. If that feels uncomfortable, that might be moved towards it. Just letting out. And now we're going to move into shaking. So you're just going to find your feet and we're just going to bounce from our feet, letting the shoulders even like relax, just not trying to control it, just feeling the shaking through the whole body.
Now, big respect in every aspect to all the massive and all the crew. Remember, there is only one ruling selector, and it's the bug. And this is typical you're saying this. May I tell you? Look out, pick up the bug. So many things it get me
Maybe turn it up a
angry,
little
and
bit
so
if it'll
many
go a little.
things
There you
it get me mad. So many things it get me angry, and I gotta say, so many things it get me angry, and so many things it get me mad. So many things it get me angry, and I gotta say, when I think about ocean, I think about beer. Have my people living in fear with every country them interfere with the suicide bomber them everywhere, and them mashing up our atmosphere. The whole zone layer, you know we gone clear. The people in Africa we shed a little tear, and it's funny how they just not going down here. So many things it get me angry, and so many things it get me mad. So many things it get me angry, and I gotta say, so many things it get me angry, and so many things it get me mad. So many things it get me angry, and I gotta say, rape Africa, clean already. There ain't no eyeless, just poverty. Where them a go tell the Almighty? Feed them judgment, it nah go pretty. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, and it's easy as ABC, and it's easy as Do Re Mi. Them a go burn in a fire. So many things it get me angry, and so many things it get me mad. So many things it get me angry, and I gotta say, so many things it get me angry, and so many things it get me mad. So many things it get me angry, and I gotta say, in New Orleans, in America, why them never angry got to Katrina? America is a big superpower. They should have been there in the hour, but them left the people them just fi suffer and to wash away in the gutter with every line on the DJ utter. Me know them a go melt like butter. So many things it get me angry, and so many things it get me mad. So many things it get me angry, and I gotta say, so many things it get me angry, and so many things it get me mad. So many things it get me angry, and I gotta say, real effect about bad mind people. The devil do with them, that's why them so evil. 20 years down me the aid of this. I am a teacher.
What'd you say?
If you need to, I was just telling people if they need to close their eyes to really tune inward, they can do that too instead of watching us.
Yeah.
Go in.
Yeah, thank you.
So many things it get me angry, and so many things it get me mad. So many things it get me angry, and I gotta say, so many things it get me angry, and so many things it get me mad. So many things it get me angry, and I gotta say. This is Irie and the Bug. That's it.
Okay, so now we're gonna move into accessing like the muddy swampy depths of self. And if you didn't hear what Casey said, she was saying if you need to close your eyes just to turn off one sense to feel more, if that's a habit, you might want to open your eyes, whatever your learning edge is. Okay. we've got a few more minutes. We've got about 5 more minutes of swamping. It may even be helpful to say, I swamp being a doormat for other people. I swamp caring what other people think. I swamp, like whatever it is that you're working on, like verbalize it and express it.
Silence before the storm. I reached the house hidden by the night. A light I saw, I knocked up quietly. I entered a woman sat by the spinning wheel. What brings you here, my child? She asked. Don't you know how Our Lady keeps her secrets well? It's my life I am running from. It's my fate I am hiding from. Oh, what the goddess speak to me. Her ways I don't understand. The mysteries that I must know. Oh, what the mother see through me. Why don't you rest, my child? She said. I will seek her advice. I will wake you when it's day. All night by the spinning wheel, she sang an ancient tune, and in that one her word was love. In the distance I heard a call. I awoke and I held the spindle in my hand. My other hand it held me light. The goddess set me by my side, and her blessings was mine.
And turn in for these last few moments and just ask yourself, is there anything that wants to be expressed verbally through the body? Because this is swamping process coming to an end. So we'll come back to this for just a few moments. into a comfortable place, whether you want to be sitting or laying down with a pillow, wherever your body, however your body wants to be. However we are, I'm sitting, Casey's laying, however you are, just feeling the earth, the chair, the bed holding you. We can let the body go. Bring all our attention on this light of breath, the breath that's breathing through us. Noticing the hips, we can allow the belly to expand to where we breathe all the way to our hips and letting our genitals relax, letting the base of the body relax, rest, the anus soften. And then contacting the frequency of gratitude, feeling into what that feels like. We can breathe into our heart, And if you want to, this is just an invitation that feels right for you. You can bring a hand to your heart and a hand to the base or the genitals, just reconnecting these 2 points, because so often we're breathing up in the chest. So sometimes just holding both reconnects these 2 points within ourselves. Next few moments, just tuning in and see, is there any way that I want to, that would feel comforting for me to touch my body? Like for me, my hands naturally want to go to my face. Just feeling how pleasure or the feeling of goodness is always present in some form. It could just be feeling this breath. Be giving yourself a head massage. What would feel good for you in this instant? just rest in the silence. Allowing any leftover tensions to dissolve if we want them to into the quiet. And 3 questions that have been helpful for me in my journey. These originally came from Philip Urzo, but it's just for now. Are you safe? Are we safe just for now? Just for now, do we have to prove anything at all to anyone? And just for now, are you complete? You can just feel the next wave of breath wash in. And feeling it go. When we're ready, we can come back to our screens. Taking our time, not being in a hurry.
Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you, Casey. Do you have anything you want to share before we hit stop?
In my own experience, that was fun today. It was just, I felt very liberated and free. At one point I was screaming, instead of saying swamp, I was saying fuck what anybody thinks.
That's a good one.
It was synchronistic because I noticed that my windows were open. And so as I was screaming, like, what fuck what people think, I was like, oh shit, I need to close the window.
You're liberating your neighbors too.
Yeah, I know, they're probably like, gosh. And then I was like, I'm the weird neighbor, but I mean, I guess it's okay, you know?
Yeah. Are you on the screen right now? I think you're frozen as there you are. I was gonna say it looked like you're still just laying there, but you're laughing. I'm like, this isn't matching the picture. Okay. Yeah, that's funny. I like that. Fuck this and fuck this. Yeah.
Well, thank you for leading us. And you can, if anybody wants to contact Lauren, I'll put it in the YouTube notes, but she has a website called thewisdomofbreath.com.
Wisdomofbreath.com. And yeah,
she has Facebook and all that stuff, but I'll link your website. That'd be the easiest way to contact you if somebody wants to book a session or something.
Yeah. Sounds good. Okay. All right. Thank you, Casey.
Thank you. Are we going to hang up when you take it off?
Well, here, I'll just hit stop and we'll.
Okay.